Welcome to Wisdom Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2925 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. The title for today's Wisdom Trek is The Master Compass, Unlocking the Purpose and Foundation of Wisdom. On our previous expedition, on day 2923, we stood at the soaring galactic summit of Psalm 150, listening as every created thing that has breath lifted, one unified, thunderous crescendo of praise to the sovereign King of Heaven. For many months, we traveled through the sacred sanctuary of the Psalter, learning how to worship, how to pray, and how to bring our rawest emotions into the celestial courtroom of the Almighty. Today, as we step onto day 2925 of our ongoing trek, we are crossing a monumental threshold. We are stepping off the high mountain of praise and crossing over onto the practical, dusty trails of the Book of Proverbs. If the Psalms taught us how to look upward in awe at the heavenly council, the Book of Proverbs teaches us how to look outward, giving us a time-tested, practical field guide for how to walk with integrity, navigate complex relationships, manage our resources, and leave a living legacy. Having personally walked through a chapter of Proverbs every single day for over 40 years, I can tell you with absolute certainty that this book is not merely a collection of isolated fortune cookie maxims. It is an inspired, life-giving ecosystem designed to shape your character from the inside out. Let us open our hearts to the foundational header of this magnificent royal manual as recorded in the New Living Translation, starting in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. These are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, king of Israel. In this opening line, Solomon introduces himself with his full royal pedigree. These are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, king of Israel. To fully grasp the profound weight of this verse, we must view it through the fascinating lens of the ancient Israelite divine council worldview. In the ancient Near East, kingship was never viewed as a mere secular administrative office. The king of Israel was understood to be the earthly representative, the unique viceroy of Yahweh himself. When Solomon inherited the throne from his father David, he stood as Yahweh's anointed representative on earth. When Yahweh appeared to young Solomon in a dream at Gibeon and asked what he desired, Solomon did not ask for military conquests, vast personal wealth, or long life. Instead, he asked for a discerning mind to govern God's people with cosmic justice. God granted him divine wisdom that surpassed all the sages of the ancient world. Therefore, when we read Proverbs, we are not just reading human philosophy, we are entering into royal court curriculum. This was the training manual used in the Jerusalem palace to train young leaders, princes, and administrators how to rule in harmony with the divine order established by the Creator himself. Having established his royal authority, Solomon immediately unveils the primary mission statement of the entire book, grouping together the deeply connected thoughts in verse 2 and verse 3. Their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline, to help them understand the insights of the wise. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. Look at the rich, multi-layered vocabulary Solomon utilizes here. He declares that the purpose of these proverbs is to impart wisdom and discipline, and to help people lead disciplined and successful lives, doing what is right, just, and fair. In the original Hebrew, the word for wisdom is chokmah, which does not mean abstract academic knowledge or a high IQ. Chokmah literally means applied skill. It is the practical craftsmanship of living life well according to divine design. Solomon pairs chokmah with musar, which translates as discipline, instruction, or moral correction. True wisdom requires the humility to be trained, shaped, and corrected when we wander off the trail. Notice, too, the ultimate fruit of this discipline. It enables us to practice what is right, just, and fair. In Hebrew, these three words, tzedek, mishpat, and mesharim, form the precise triad used throughout the Old Testament to describe the foundation of Yahweh's own heavenly throne. When we live lives characterized by righteousness, justice, and fairness, we are actively bringing the moral order of heaven down into our everyday earthly relationships. Solomon now expands the scope of his audience, demonstrating that this royal curriculum is designed for every single traveler on the road of life, weaving together the logical thoughts found in verse 4, verse 5, and verse 6. These proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment to the young. Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those with understanding receive guidance by exploring the meaning in these proverbs and parables, the words of the wise and their riddles. Consider the marvelous, universal inclusivity of these 3 verses. Solomon identifies 2 distinct groups of people who desperately need this wisdom. First, he speaks to the simple and the young. In the Hebrew mind, the simple, the pethi, does not mean someone who lacks intelligence. It describes someone who is open-minded, uncommitted, naive, and easily led astray by the loudest voice in the marketplace. The young lack life experience and battle-tested discernment. For them, Proverbs functions as a protective shield, offering instant discernment, practical knowledge, and foresight before they make catastrophic mistakes. But then, look at verse 5. Solomon pivots and says, "Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. No one ever graduates from the school of wisdom." Whether you are a young person just stepping onto the trail, or a seasoned trekker who has walked with God for decades, there are always deeper layers of insight to uncover. Solomon invites us to become spiritual detectives, exploring the deep meaning, parables, and riddles the Kida woven into the fabric of creation and Scripture. Finally, Solomon reaches the majestic, unshakable cornerstone of the entire Book of Proverbs, the ultimate motto that governs all true knowledge, as recorded in verse 7. Fear of the Lord is a foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Here stands the master compass of human existence. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. This single verse serves as the theological hinge upon which the entire book swings. In the ancient Near Eastern world, people lived in constant dread of volatile pagan gods, attempting to manipulate spiritual powers through magic and superstition. But the fear of Yahweh, Yirat Yahweh, is something entirely different. It is not a paralyzing, cowering terror. Rather, it is a posture of profound, reverent awe, holy wonder, submission, and absolute alignment with the supreme creator of the universe. It is recognizing that God is God, and we are not. When you begin with the fear of the Lord, your mind is properly calibrated to reality. You recognize that Yahweh sits enthroned over the celestial assembly, and that his laws reflect the true nature of reality. In stark contrast stands the Ewel, the fool. In Proverbs, a fool is not someone with a low intellectual capacity. A fool is someone who is morally arrogant, someone who despises instruction, rejects discipline, and arrogantly insists on being the master of their own fate. The fool tries to navigate the treacherous trails of life with a broken compass, while the wise trekker anchors every step in the reverent fear of God. As we set out on this exciting new series through Proverbs, let us resolve to be humble, eager learners. We are not just collecting ancient trivia. We are acquiring the divine skill set needed to live disciplined, successful, and honorable lives that leave a lasting legacy for generations to come. Keep your heart open as wisdom calls out to us at the very start of our journey, and let the fear of the Lord be your guiding star every single day. If you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day, every day. Join me next time for more daily wisdom.